Every person has a special talent or gift, and many people have more than one. One such person is DTC Communications employee Stacey Martin, a 13-year employee who works in the cooperative's engineering department. When she's not busy with her job at DTC or taking care of her family, Stacey is working with her church family at New Hope Baptist Church with their puppet ministry. But this is no ordinary puppet ministry. Stacey, along with several members of her family, works with the children of the church to put on a blacklight puppet show, a show that has not only brought much happiness, joy, and inspiration to the people who have seen it, but also to the ones who put on the show, including Stacey herself. Stacey Martin's involvement in her church's unique ministry makes her the focus of this DTC Employee Spotlight. Stacey, first of all, want to talk about your family, your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
I'm married, will be 22 years this year. I have 2 sons, Zach, who's a freshman in college, and Ethan, who's in 8th grade. Married to Dwayne Martin, and we work at DTC, of course. Been there about, I think it's 13 years this year, I believe. Been coming here to New Hope Baptist Church for the past 12 years.
Now let's talk about your church a little bit, and I know small community churches are so great because everybody's like family. It's not just like you're coming to church, it's like you're coming to church and seeing family.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I tell people, when you go to a big church, you kind of get forgotten, or you just kind of, you're in the back or in the pews. Here, if you aren't involved, things don't get done. You've got to be involved.
Part of what you do here at the church is the puppet ministry. We're going to put a lot of emphasis on that today. Talk about how the puppet ministry got started here at the church.
Actually, my sister, Rhea Baker, and if anybody knows Rhea, any given day she's got 10 ideas going around in her mind. So she'd mention it to me, and I kind of blew it off like I do a lot of things she mentions that she wants to do, and she just kept on, and finally, I'm in charge of the Christmas program. It's getting time for Christmas, and I told her, I said, okay, here's the deal. I will ask my church to sponsor it and give us some startup money, and you got to give me a Christmas program. That's what we did.
All right, and it just sort of snowballed from there.
Just went from there. Of course, she makes most of the puppets. We did use some of the money and buy some of them, but most of what we do, she made. She got the music together. I just come up with the kids and the money. Once she put so much work into it, it was just like you need to go out and show other people. So first we made a few phone calls, and we'd go to churches, and then after that they started calling us, and we go to about 13 churches every year. Wow.
When did that get started?
It was not this year, but the year before. We can only do it when the time changes, because it has to be really dark outside. And we will do it from the time changes until it changes back. So, it's a good, 4 months, 6 months out of the year.
Right.
And it's usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays and Sundays. And then when the time changes back, we just pack everything up and wait till the next year. Okay,
now the question people are going to ask, and certainly I've got to ask, why does it have to be dark outside? Let's put some emphasis on that and explaining that.
It's a black light puppet, and so everything we've got, here's an example, it has to be really bright, it has to glow in the dark. So we use black lights, and everything has to be completely dark. If it's not, it just doesn't have the same effect.
Right. How many people are involved in the puppet ministry?
We've got, I think right now we got 11. Last year we had maybe 13. So we've kind of dropped a few, and we add a few, different kids. The great part about this puppet show, I think, not everybody's a Tom. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like me.
Not everybody's a ham, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Growing up in church, at some point when you're a kid, you're asked to get up in front of everybody and do something.
Right.
And I don't know, I hated it. I did not want to do it. And with this, it gives the kids who don't like to be seen a chance to get up and do something. We're always told if you don't do it, you're ashamed of your faith. It's not that they're ashamed, they're just shy.
Right. You say kids, so is it predominantly kids that do the puppet show?
It is. It's supposed to be our youth group. I will say that me, my sister Rhea Baker, and my husband now, he's like, I think you need somebody to do this. So now, now the 3 of us do it too. And I hate, if somebody else wants to join, I'm like, okay, but I really don't want to give up my part, but I would if I had to.
I want to talk about something you were talking about. There are people who are shy, and it is difficult to get up and speak in front of people. This does give these kids an opportunity where they are up in front of people, but they're not showing their faces. Talk about kind of how that is what that has brought out in these kids.
we've had some, you know, there's one boy that was doing it, and the grandparents would just come say, you just don't know how much this has helped him, you know, because while they're doing the show, nobody can see who you are. And then after the first couple of shows, they'd be like, come out, and they'd be like, you know. Now they're like, okay, you know,
yeah.
Did we go out? Can they see who we are, you know? So it's just, I think they just feel proud of what they've done.
Do you put different programs together for, say, specific holidays, events, or do you have one main show that you kind of build around and then maybe do some extra shows for specific events or holidays?
We do Christmas.
Okay.
We'll start it about mid-November, and it'll go to the Sunday after Christmas. And then we start a new one that's just fun songs, and we'll do that until the end of February most of the time.
Okay. Now, you showed us one of your friends here a minute ago. Can we meet he or she? Is it a him or her?
You know, let's call him Nick.
Nick.
Call him Nick.
That's a good name. All right.
Actually, what they do, and if you look, say, I'm nervous because I like to be behind
I just
the
thought his
scenes.
eyes
No, I'm
like,
shaking.
oh, okay.
They don't, I mean, everything is music. So you're just kind of, you know, so they're really, I mean, they look cute and they're fun, but we don't have names and they don't talk.
Right. So all of the speaking parts, singing parts are pre-recorded.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
no one is actually using their
No.
own. Okay, their own voices.
No.
You said you go to about how many churches?
I think we've been to about 13 since November.
Mostly in this area?
We've gone, we've been to Baxter, Noreen, in this area, yeah. And if we go once, most of the time they have us come back and do the other show.
What do you see the future of the puppet ministry? Do you see it growing even bigger? Do you see more people wanting to get involved?
We've got kids, when we first started, it was like older kids. For some reason, I felt like it had to be the older group. The younger ones now, they're already asking, when can I do it? So as long as the kids want to do it, I think we'll do it. So it's really just up to the kids. We had 2 boys in it last year that were seniors in high school. And one of the things we always say is you're not made to do it. Don't ever make them do it, because if they're made to do it, it's not fun. So when they graduated, I asked them, are you going to do it again? And both of them said no. One was going to college, one was going to work. After the first show, they're back. So, and that's because they want to be, not because they're made. So.
One other question that does come to mind is the reaction of the audiences that you see. Kids, of course, I'm sure love the puppet shows, but sometimes I think we kind of take for granted as adults. I think the adults maybe enjoy it just as much as the kids.
They do love it. When you call the church and you say, we got this puppet show, they don't understand. I didn't understand. Bria had to show me in the internet what she was talking about, because I didn't understand what she was talking about. And once they see it, they love it. They love it just as much as the kids do, and anybody who wants us to come will be glad to come. I'd like to say that I feel proud that I work for a company that wanted to spotlight this, because right now everybody's trying to take God out of everything. I think it's a good thing that DTC has decided to spotlight this.
Not everyone's talent may be seen on the surface. Not everyone is comfortable in front of a crowd, whether speaking, singing, or being in any way the center of attention. But Stacey Martin's involvement in this unique ministry gives her an opportunity to showcase a talent, as well as touch the lives of many others without ever having to be seen. It gives her the opportunity to reach out and touch lives from below the spotlight, all while experiencing this remarkable ministry with those who are closest to her. For this DTC Employee Spotlight, I'm Tom Duggan.